Good morning, guys. I'm WUSA Season 4, Episode 45. And I'm sorry I released the last two episodes together. I was so tired Monday night, I forgot to release the episode. So I released both of them last night. Today is Wednesday morning, and I am just heading out for the day on a very bright day. It is 32 degrees outside. It is one half of the sky is completely clear and one half of the sky is completely cloudy. So, I'm not sure where we're going to end up today, but hopefully the weather holds up for us and we have some good variance today. Let me see here. Last night and yesterday, most of the money I was waiting for came through. In fact, I think by this morning, $32,000 had come through to my bank account, so very thankful that all came in. And I just called Wells Fargo and made a $20,000 payment on the credit card, so hopefully that'll be credited later today. The last payment I made Sunday was supposed to be credited same day, and they said it won't be credited until today, which is very odd. So I wonder how long the $20,000 will take. But at least now I understand the way the system works. You can only make up to 4 payments on your Wells Fargo credit card per calendar month. So we'll just make sure that it's completely maxed out before we make a payment. That should be all right starting next month. But until then, we'll have to keep calling and making the payment by phone. Today, so obviously we want to make the most money possible, not hit the most casinos possible. So we have a target of hitting 1 casino in one area, 3 in another area, and then 3 more about an hour and a half to 2 hours apart between now and midnight. And then coming back and hitting all those same casinos on the way back. That may not all happen. It just depends on timing. It depends if I'm at a place and I'm doing very well and it has a good game and a lot of tables, and it's almost between shifts, I may stay there. I may cut some casinos out, but otherwise, if I get to a place and there's nothing going on, I may move on to the next casino. I do have 2 other casinos I can add. One is close by, and one would make it so that I would have to skip 2 others, but it may have a lot more opportunity. So, and I haven't been to that one in over a year, so we'll see what happens there. Right now, just getting on the main highway going in this direction, and I'm going to start working on some other stuff, make a little bit of extra money on the way to the casino. Yesterday I made about $400 other than the casino, so I made about $1,100 or $1,200 yesterday, so it was a very good day for it being such a short day. Just so happened that I had a lot of opportunity and things worked out. So hopefully today is the same. Just heading out, and I'll be back to update you after my first casino. I have enough fuel to get me to at least my second casino, so I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. Good afternoon. How did that happen? How's it afternoon already? Well, here's what happened. I go into this place, and just as I'm pulling up to this place, I am getting a call from somebody at work. So I pull in, get into the parking garage, take the call, and there is a possible incident that needs to be taken care of. And guess who's on call this week? Me. Why am I on call? Because someone else took off the week that they were supposed to be on call. They took it as a vacation week, so they moved me into it. So I'm going to be on call like 3 out of 4 weeks. But anyway, talk to them, and there might be something going on, increased traffic, system's not working. So it happens to be on the servers that we're doing the penetration testing on. So I go in, I start looking around. In the meantime, I'm emailing the penetration testers to see if they're working on them or not. And as I'm waiting for that reply, sorry, I still got this meeting on my ear. As I'm waiting for the reply, I get another call saying that we're starting a meeting for this. So I run through, finish up real quick, get out there, get in the car, sit in the car for about an hour and 15 minutes on this meeting, and it's dragging and it's going to take forever. So I'm like, I can't stick around. I'd only played 2 machines. The first one I lost $20 on, and which was only like 5 units. It wasn't much. And the second one I lost like $3 on, and that was it. So I was down $23. I went back in, searched the last few machines that I hadn't searched. I think there was 2 I wasn't able to get to because somebody was on them. And I cashed out, went back to the car, and then sat in the car for another 45 minutes. So now it's been 2 hours on this call, and I decided, what sense does it make for me to stay there? So I decided to continue on to my next spot, because the best case scenario, I'm going to get like whatever happened in the last 45 minutes is getting, that's all the plays are going to be possible. So I decided to move on to the next place, and I've been driving now for over an hour. Meeting is still going on. We're approaching 3 hours, and still going on. We're still trying to get this all resolved. And luckily I was on the call because a lot of stuff needed my approval. And now there's going to be a security incident open, multiple ones, which I'll have to work on this evening and figure out the reason why it happened and the reason why that happened and so on. If you've done security incidents, you'd know. It's like, why did this happen? Because of this. Well, why did that happen? Because of this. And you got to keep going backward till you get to the root of the problem. And I think the root of the problem is going to be 2 things. One is not enough resources for these 20 servers that are running this application, and that we were being attacked. Someone trying to steal data, and they were overwhelming the servers. So we blocked those IP addresses and that domain and restarted them. And we're working on that restart right now, which could take up to 2 hours. So we're trying to do them one at a time and at least get the app working, and then add on to it from there. So I know that sounds like a lot, and that's because it is a lot. We've got about 30 people on the phone call trying to resolve all this. So still continuing on to my second spot, minus 23 at the first stop, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am in the very, very busy parking lot right now because they're giving some knick-knack or doodad or doohickey or something, a widget or something away. Oh, a long walk to the car because they're giving something away, and everyone's piled up in there, line all the way around the casino. And I had a decent session there. I was looking for a blackjack table, and I was just having a real hard time finding one. They had, with this giveaway, they had all kinds of garbage stuff open. All these weird tables open, games you never heard of before. Very bad odds type games. So I'm looking, I can't find anything to play. So finally, I take a break, I walk around again, I look at slots again, and I finally take a break and then go look again, and I find one table that's open. So I sit at that table, and I guess they had just opened it. It was just 2 pit bosses and the dealer and me. So that's gonna be great, right? You could do whatever you want, right? Definitely not. So I did like a 1 to 8 spread, and beginning of the shoe was kind of up and down. Dealer got a blackjack the first hand, which you gotta love that, right? Gets a blackjack right away, and then this is all first shoe. I pushed 20 about 7 or 8 times, so that's not very fun. And eventually, as I'm playing, things are leveling out and they're okay. And then at the end of one shoe, toward the end of the shoe, things started picking up, and I had a nice spike, and I ended my session ahead $600. But it was up and down. My low for the session was only minus 400. As you know, I'm trying to play lower limit stuff right now, just to get my confidence up, just to make sure that everything is fine-tuned and good and everything like that, and bring less attention as well. And I've been playing the lower limit tables, and I've had like zero attention. Even when I brought my friend with me a couple Sundays ago, he thought we had a lot of attention, but it really wasn't that bad. So, um, yeah, overall, okay, plus 600, nothing on the slots. And right now I'm going to sit in the car. An incident was created. And I'm supposed to do my part and include everything from a security perspective into that incident. And then we're going to move on to another casino. And over there, we're probably going to play mostly slots. We might get a short blackjack session in, but generally they have very few good blackjack tables. They have a lot of free bet and other odds and ends type blackjack. So to find even a hit 17 six deck is not going to be easy, but we'll see what we can do. Probably be a lower limit hit 17 table, but we'll see what happens. I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I am back. So still hanging in there so far. Here is what's going on though. I just finished up at this place, and the next closest casino is one that I wanted to go to, but I remember what day it is, and I remember who's there, and I don't think that I can go there without worry of being ID'd and being told to leave and all that kind of stuff. Not that I've done anything, but there's just somebody there who wants to get my ID. So I opened the moonroof here by mistake. So what's the temperature out there? 39, might not be too bad. Anyway, I go in, I'm looking around, looking for slots. I don't see anything. I go to another area, and I hear someone say, "Hey, Joe, over here." I'm like, oh, man. So I look over, and there's this guy, this bald guy, and I'm wondering, who is this guy at first? I walked over, I looked at him, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know who this is. This is the guy who used to gamble at the same casinos I did, but then got hired at the other casino, and remember, he knows me by a certain name, which is not the right name, and this or this, or da-da-da. Anyway, so I want to stay away from this guy. I went over to talk to him. He's playing a beatable machine, and he's an idiot because he works for a casino. He knows which machines are right, and he knows when to get in, and he's in at the wrong time completely. And he tells me that he only plays it at the minimum bet no matter what. That means that you don't know what the heck you're talking about, because if you knew what you were talking about, you'd want the denomination to be as high as possible if it was definitely going to hit and it was definitely going to give you money. So anyway, I let him go, looked around, didn't find anything, found like $2 in the machines, and ended up looking for blackjack, and that took me down a long rabbit hole. There were only a few decent tables open, which it took forever to figure out which tables were good. And then I look at two tables. One of them is 2/3 of the way through a shoe, and the dealer is like molasses. He's just taking his time, and the players are upset, and it's just a mess of a table, right? It's like walking into a house where everybody's been arguing, and it's like the silent treatment. You don't want to be there. So I look at the table next to him, and there's a young lady dealing, and there's a guy next to her, and I'm like, she must be getting trained. And if you thought the other guy was slow, the other guy was like lightning fast compared to this girl. She didn't even know how to pay out. She didn't know how to stack the chips. She didn't know how to push them toward the guy. She didn't know how to collect the tip. She knew nothing. It was like day one for this girl. So what they should do is give people like fake money to go like gamble, or at least open up like a table. You know what I mean? And have the new dealers sit as players and play for an hour or so, just to get an idea of how the flow of the game works and how the dealer deals and how to stack things and stuff, instead of just sticking them out there and saying, now do this, now do this. They don't know how to do that stuff. If they knew how to do it, they wouldn't need training. So in my opinion, if they had a little bit of hands-on but kind of watching and playing and seeing how the dealer acts, what they say, what they do. And then when they get on the table for the first time, it might be a little bit easier for them. But who am I? I only have, trillion hours at the I've been gambling longer than most people have been alive in the world. So look at the average age in the world. Anyway, so I ended up playing blackjack at a different area and sat down, started playing, and right away was losing, was in a hole right away. And I'm like, man, this has been happening way too much. I get a profit at one place, I go to the next place, they tear me up. But the dealer got 3 blackjacks in 4 hands, and then I had a couple 20s that pushed. And then finally, after a little while, that dealer ended up going on break, and the next dealer comes, and it's like every hand is good, and I'm at negative counts. So I'm winning. I want every hand for the rest of the shoe. And I ended up getting up at the end of that shoe ahead $500. So the first guy was just a mess. I'm raising my bets and losing. This guy comes to the table. I'm min betting the whole time and win every hand. So you never know. The worst thing, the thing I hate the most is when people say, that's why they call it gambling. Okay, that's why they call it gambling. They call it gambling because you're supposed to lose? Whatever. Anyway, I am going to move on here. So, I was supposed to move on to another casino. I'm going to skip that casino, and I'm going to go get some food. It's late in the day already, late in the afternoon already, and I want to get something protein, chicken, maybe some beef, anything, even pulled pork, whatever, anything that's going to be low carb. And I'm telling you, I'm eating so little right now. I do get hungry sometimes, but I've been pretty good most of the time. And when I gamble, I really don't get hungry. So I'm so preoccupied with what's going on. I remember a couple days ago, I was driving. I'd been on the highway for about 10 minutes, and I was thinking to myself, -3, -3, -3, -3, -3, -3. I'm like, why am I still... I've already colored up, cashed out, gone in my car, and I'm driving down the highway, and I still have the count in my head. So we get so preoccupied sometimes with what we're doing. And same with spins. Like when I'm spinning, I'm keeping track of how often something comes up. I'm counting everything. And someone comes to the machine and wants to talk, and I'm like, okay, fine. I'll stop keeping track of this. I was at 744, and now you come over and want to talk to me, and I'm trying to keep track of this, but try not to be rude to people. Anyway, I think I'm probably going to do a live session this evening. Of course, it'll be past by the time you hear this, but keep an eye out for some live sessions that I do. Probably do some live stuff, I think there's actually another casino I could go to, but I'm going to skip that. And that place, I actually think I have free play, like $50 or something, but it's such a hassle to get there and get out of there and all that. I'm not even going to mess with it. We're going to move on to an Indian casino. It's about 2.5 hours from here. We're going to stop and get some food first. Then we're going to travel, and it'll be early evening by the time we get there. And hopefully we can make a little bit more money. So that's what's going on right now. I wish I didn't have a 3-hour meeting in the morning, but I did move my afternoon meeting for today, moved that to tomorrow. So we'll see what the calendar looks like tomorrow. We'll check that later. But anyway, you're all caught up, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back, just leaving this casino, Indian casino. I was really worried about it, only because I was backed off the other casino a while back. I didn't know where they got the information. I still don't know where. There's only a couple more places left that it could be, and I haven't been to them yet, so we'll find out when I get there. But if I go to these other places and no one says anything to me, then that casino probably checked my license plate and guessed at my name, and I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, I go in, I'm looking around the slots. I'm ahead initially like $15 or $20, and then I'm down about that much, maybe a little more. When I go back to where the double deck tables are, and there's only one double deck table and 2 6-deck tables, and the double deck's got 3 people sitting at it. So I decided to walk around a little bit, come back. I came back, it was down to 2 people, so I thought I'd take a look, and it turns out that it was a guy and his girlfriend, and I think he lost every hand while I was watching. And I sit down, and he was getting ready to leave, and he's like, well, maybe when you come to the table it'll be better for me. I'm like, whoop-de-doo. So then he still lost every hand. He rebought for like 500, and he went like 50, 150, and then all in, and lost it. And I'm like, you're probably not the best person at betting. Like, maybe you either win huge or lose it all, and there's no in between. But I guess that's the way some people are. So he switched to the 6-deck table. I stayed at the double deck table for a while, and I got attention immediately. Nothing too negative. The guy was eyeing me and stuff, and I got to the point where I'd only bought in for like 500, and I was down to like 125, and I get the count goes up, and I'm supposed to bet 150, but the guy's standing there. I'm like, I just bet the 125. So I said to the guy, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. So he's like, yeah, that's a good idea, maybe something good will happen. So I get a 7 and a 7 against a dealer 4. I'm like, okay. Reach in my pocket, get 500 out, put it on the table, get 500 in chips. I put 125 of it out there. We split the 7s, and then I get an ace. No, I get another 7. So I split that, and then I get an ace on that second hand, and I double that, and then go to the third hand. I end up with a 16, and then the fourth hand was a 4, so I had an 11 for a double down. So I had to get in my pocket again, get 500 more, and put it out there. So I have 4 hands and 2 doubles out there, and the dealer has a 4 up, turns over, she must have had a 6 up, turns over an 8 for a 14, and then another 8 for a 22, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. This guy's like been standing next to me, and so I decided just to get out of there. I ended that session ahead $375, but from the first shoe to the last shoe, that guy really didn't leave my side. So although I was spreading, I was cautiously spreading, and I had excuses, and you get kind of tired of that, though, when you have to make an excuse for every hand and every split and everything that you're doing. How come you stayed on 16 and then you didn't? I had a hand where a shoe where I stayed on 12 against the 3, or I hit 12 against the 3, and then like 3 hands later I stayed on it, and it's like, how do you explain that other than I have a feeling? So anyway, ended the session. I had 375, went and cashed out, and then finished up my slot session. I was down about 30, I would think, and then it was 20, and then back down to like minus 40, and then I found one other play, which, like, I play this machine maybe once a year, and it was one spin. Well, it was more than one spin, but the first spin got me the win, and then the next couple spins were still positive. I played those. I didn't get anything from those, but I ended my slot session ahead $25. So plus 375 on the blackjack, plus 25 on the slots, and we're moving on to another Indian casino. This one is supposed to be one of the worst for backing people off, so hopefully we have a short session, half hour, 40 minutes, don't spread crazy, and I can get in and out of there. I can tell you, if you know this area, then you'll know where I'm talking about. It's one that has a gas station, but the gas station is not connected to it. So there's one that has one connected to it, there's one that has one that's not connected to it. So this one is not connected to it, and the casino owns both the gas station and obviously the casino and hotel. So you got to be careful. So that this casino specifically was one of the reasons I wanted to come up with this temporary tag, so that if anything happens, I can still come next time, and the license plate will be different. Plus, the temporary tag is hanging in the window. It's got kind of tinted glass in the back, and it's kind of like drooping down, so you can't see it clearly anyway. So, and it's already dark, so we'll see. I don't think I have much to worry about. So I'm going to go in there, check out the slots, which they took out like 80% of the good slots. Then we're going to attempt to have a blackjack session. Although the good blackjack tables, there's usually only one, sometimes two. And then they have all kinds of the crazy games also. So we're going to try to stay away from those. Hopefully do well on the slots, pick up a little extra on the blackjack, and get out of there. So this place, from where I am right now, I've been driving for a little bit. It's still a little bit over an hour away. And the place after that will be a couple hours away. But on my way to this place, I want to examine the map, because I may not go to the next one. I may decide to go to a bunch of smaller casinos, like 10-minute stop casinos. And because lots of times they're not going to have people sitting around there all day waiting for plays. So I'm going to decide by looking at the map here, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back. That was a big waste of time. I had forgotten that the last time I was here, the story was supposedly they took an advantage player around the casino and said, tell me all the advantage machines or you're going to get arrested. And he went around and told them all the machines, and they pulled them all out. So I found 2 different machines that were advantage machines in the whole place, and didn't find a play. So this was an hour and a half each way out of my way. I just wasted 3 hours. So right now I changed my schedule. I'm not going to the next place. It was going to be, it looked like 2 hours and 20 minutes away. Instead, I'm going to head a whole different direction to a bunch of small time casinos. I'll be in and out of those in 10 or 15 minutes each. And they're all about an hour apart. So I'll drive an hour, be there for 20 minutes, drive an hour, 20 minutes. And I'm going to try to hit 5 of them tonight. And then right around midnight, I'll probably start a new episode. And hopefully we can make some money, because a lot of these places are going to be slots only, which is just exhausting to me right now, going into these places, and it's already been picked over. But the area I really want to go to is just too far for me to go to tonight. I mean, technically it's possible, but I'd have no quality of time at all. So right now, heading out to my next casino. I should be there in an hour, and hopefully we can get 5 or 6 small plays, make a little bit of money, and I'll be back to update you. I'm going to hop on YouTube most likely here in a few minutes. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. So I moved on to the next casino, and it was a small casino. I found one good play, and I couldn't get to it. There was a lady on the machine the whole time, and excuse me, she wasn't getting up. I ended up ordering a double cheeseburger, no bread. Sat there, I ate it, waited and waited and waited. She never got up. So that was the only play I could find. And looks like I got a turn here. So right now I'm moving on to another place. This place was just like a little hole in the wall place, and now we're going to go to another hole in the wall place, and hopefully we'll have a little better opportunity. Excuse me. And now we got a train crossing in the middle of the night. So I'm going to move on. I made no plays there, made $0, just like the last place, made $0. And we're going to move on, hopefully, to something that we can play and make some cash. I'm seeing a lot of nice places, but I'm not seeing any money at this time. So that's what's going on right now. I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. So just finished up my next casino, and not much happening there. It was a small place. It was a lot better than the one I went to before it. Same company. Went in and found a play right away, and it was a one spin play. I played that one and lost 10 cents. Then I found another one, and that one was about 5 or 6 spins. I made about $60 profit on that one. And then one more play, and that one was right there, but not the greatest play. And I lost $40 on that one. So after all that, I ended that session. I had $20, and so I was going to head to a third one of these casinos. They're all related to each other, and I thought it doesn't make sense because there's just not enough action in there right now. And so I'm going to their home main casino, and that one is gigantic. So we're going to go there. See if I can find my turn here. And I think it's right here. We're going to play there. That one should be a nice big place. Should be able to spend a few hours there. And depending on how I feel, I'll either continue going further, or I'll stop and sleep there, or I'll leave and go somewhere. I don't know. So we'll see what happens with all that. I actually recognize this road because I've been here before. But I kind of get the feeling like if I had stayed in the big city where I was, I would have had a couple more blackjack sessions, which is going to be way more money than this is. But I do like the driving, but I don't like not making the money. So we'll see. I'm only doing this about once a year anyway, maybe twice a year, so not too bad. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and continue on, and then we're going to go to a greasy, nasty place in a swamp. And other than having a swamp nearby, it's got like a power plant right there. So it's a really nasty, dirty place and a tough crowd, but I think they have good machines there. So we're going to head on to this first big place first, and then I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, it's after midnight now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this episode up and start a new episode. Let's do our segments real quick though. What did you eat today, MW? And I had, I'm trying to think. This morning, what did I eat? What did I eat this morning? Let me think where I went here. I went there. Oh yeah. I had the beef skewers with broccoli. No, with the cauliflower and fried eggplant, and that was pretty good. I give that probably 9 or so on a scale of 2 through ace. I had someone tell me today that he rates all his food on a scale of 2 through ace now, which is funny. And I tipped nothing. But you'll see in the next episode I did tip. So I'm going to wrap this one up and we'll get into that one. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com. mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.